So again, it seemed to, I gotta find a key to start the motor a little early, but I think overall, what I'm gonna take from the game was I thought we played hard all the way through, especially the second half when they could have given up, but they didn't. I shrank the lineup and I started seeing, you know, when you play competition like this, and I think it's good to play like this, is that you find the people who can raise their game up and the ones that kind of get stuck in the middle. And, you know, we made a lot of mistakes the second half, but overall, the effort was good. They continued to play, and we ended up, what, 1 point, maybe 1 point more than they had in the second half. So it might help me to decide, you know, the 6, 7, 8 players that we're going to play, and then give them a chance to gel and see if we can get better as we go through this year. Questions?
Aside from shrinking the lineup, what other adjustments did you try to make in the second half?
Try to play better. You know, this thing, and I know you guys like to write about adjustments. I've been in a lot of different locker rooms. Usually you find out the adjustments you made after the game, you see what happened, and you tell them you adjusted. But you know what, the adjustments we play is trying to correct what we're trying to do and do it better. You know, we didn't do a great job. We walked through and this little stagger stream they do off the ball, we were supposed to switch. We come out the very first play and they're chasing. And we told them and walked through the things, told them, you know, you start chasing these guys. Now, these are athletes that can rip and get to the rim. That's where they want to go. If you start chasing them on defense, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I thought we kind of did that. We didn't get it pinned in to our sideline and keep them down like we want to. And then once they get you in a little disarray, you know, wheels start coming off. But we got to do a better job at doing what we do. I don't, again, we're going to play up to this level, which I think you can with players that aren't quite as physical or athletic. But you have to be very good at your schemes and what you're doing. Tonight, when we came out, we were not. And then we have to go mano-mano, and then these guys can get to the rim. They got a long guy at the rim. So, you know, we just got to get a little bit better. I was proud that they didn't quit. It's a growing process. I'll let you ask me more questions if you want to talk about individuals, but I thought they did. Second half, they made a little step. And again, it's going to be ugly sometimes until we get this right. But it'll get right. I was happy with some of the things that happened as far as understanding our personnel.
Did you like how Ryan bounced back? I mean, really struggled in the first half, came back to still end up leading the team in the second half and scoring?
See, again, I think Ryan bounced back the second half because of who we were playing. I thought the first half, it's funny how things work. If all the pieces fit a little better, everybody plays better. And I just thought the first half we came out, ball wasn't moving in the places we were supposed to move. Defense wasn't doing what we've asked them to do. And unless you're a great player, it's hard to be good in a system that people aren't coordinated in. Then as we got second half, you started playing a little harder. I thought probably the best part that kind of identified is when I told Alex, I said, just drive hard at the corner and Justin back door. It's there all night long, but you've got to drive hard. First time he did it, got Justin right in there, kind of wide open shot. You know, Lou missed a few shots that he's gonna make, but you know, it is the execution with energy that we seem to really struggle with. The majority of our kids seem to struggle with, and if that's the case, then I got to start whittling it down to where the ones that can't produce that play, and the ones that don't. Watch.
How much of that is just buying into the scouting report and trusting that the system's going to work, even at times when the shots aren't falling, staying with the system and not trying to do too much on the court.
Well, I think that's huge, you know, and the scouting report, just to let y'all know, we go game to game basically the same. So, you know, I want to know what they do. Naturally, I want to know if the big boy will take a shot from the top, and if it doesn't, I can leave my guy back. That's part of it. That's the easy part of it. The hard part of it is, look, we're trying to angle them down the baseline. We got to get the big at this spot. You got to get here and here. And no matter what they're doing, that's what we're doing. And we got to will them to us and not us start chasing them. Because if we're going to start chasing them, then we have to have the top athletes in the country. And then we'll have to work on improving a lot of things around here if we're going to do that. But I do think we can find the athletes that can get in here and run a certain system and do it well. And it takes time to do that. It takes experience. They've got to be able to do it. None of these guys, even if they're seniors, this is the first time they've done this. So it's going to take time for that to be coordinated, and it's going to take time for me to really make sure who our personnel is, who can do it, and who can't do it.
Dan, is there anything that's been in the practice sessions that you've seen that maybe hasn't transformed that we haven't been able to see on the court yet?
I think a little bit. Yeah, I do think we have better overall aura in the team. They're trying to pull together. I think here, from what I understand, that hasn't been the case for the last 3 or 4 years. And they're in our locker room. You have to understand that about 8 of them or 10 of them played under that system for about 3 years, and it's difficult for them to. Winning is a habit and it's a learned response. Playing good, that's one thing, but winning is another thing. And there are 2 steps. You have to start playing good, then you have to learn how to win. And right now, we kind of go through the motions in practice. You can see it. They have the ability to do it, but they don't react mentally quick enough. And then when they hit a wall, they crumble instead of run through. And we just got to keep, you know, the only thing I know, and I know it works, you just got to keep pressing the attack. I've had teams that we were 3 and 5, and I finally got the personnel right, and I took out the number 1 player in the state of South Carolina and the number 3 player in the state of South Carolina. Went off the team. We won 18 in a row. I put 2 little ones in. We went 18 in a row because they had that tenacity it takes to win. And sometimes as a coach, you know, you look at people and you see their talent, and you think they're all going to have that tenacity. And not everybody's gifted with that. And I have to be able to sort it out and find who it is. Personnel-wise, if you want to talk personnel, I thought, you know, Alex does a nice job. Makes a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes he gets weak, but he can get the ball in there. The layups are right in front of him, but he wants to throw it out or do something else. But he can get the ball to a point where it can hurt the other team. And he had several opportunities to go up in there. And that's going to be a process that we work him through so that he makes a little more aggressive play to the basket. That'll make his passing a lot easier. I thought that Justin came off the bench, got into the guy, hit some shots, showed that, you know, he ain't backing up from nobody. That's a good response from him. The big old Millen is just really, this is the first year he's ever seen competition like this. But he's a tough rascal, and he'll get in there and he'll battle. And I just think over the course of time, with the weight room, the agilities, and the things that he'll do, the mentality is there to be good. And it's just the time, it's the work and the time between. He's a hard worker, so now it only becomes the time in between. And he does things. It's hard to coach when you don't know what your players are going to do. You're just trying to guess how they'll react in a certain situation. With Millen, I can almost tell what he's going to do. And it's the same thing with players. When they know what the other player is going to do, they all get better. We haven't quite got there totally, but I thought those 2 kids didn't do bad. I kept them in most of the second half. Like you say, we played them almost even, didn't take Alex out. Stayed out there on top of people, made some mistakes that we can get through. Jay Johnson, who fought fairly decent in there and give some. He didn't hit his shots. We have to have Jay, and we have to have Luke knocking down shots. And I told him at halftime, I said, you know, probably one of the worst free throw shooters we have is Miller. But he gets in the ball game and makes them. So I want to know why he can sit up there and get in a ball game and make them. And some of our best free throws can't put them in. You tell me. I said, y'all tell me what the deal is. You know, but what was Miller? 3 for 4 maybe? You know, and we're reworking his entire shot. And yet he can walk up there because he's mentally tough, he's mentally focused, and he can get things done. And we got to that's got to start growing inside our team. And that time, me putting it, I think what's important for me is that I put that leadership into those kids. And when that type of mentality starts seeping out, then I think we'll grow and be a much, much better team.
Justin Edmonds, is he close to 100% physically?
You know, that's one of the reasons I haven't played him as much, because I just didn't see the pop in his legs. And I still don't think he has what he had when he first came here. But you know what? He's a tough-minded individual, and he tries to run through walls. So, you know, maybe, you know, I just got to look and say, you know what? This guy's going to give it, doesn't matter. But, you know, that was probably the reason I've held him back. I just didn't feel like he had the pop in his legs. But he got in there and finished one on a layup, coming over on the left side, and got it up in there. And so, you know, we're going to give, obviously, he's earned a bigger look. So we're going to give him a look. I told all these guys we're a revolving door until we find the 6 or 7 or 8 Warriors who they are. And then want to be part of it, you better step it up. If not, we'll reduce the lineup a little bit. Leave them out there, let them grow, let them learn to play together. I've jumbled them up. We've changed lineups. We've moved them around. We've done a lot of things, trying to find exactly where we want to be. So I've just got to start getting our personnel right, honing it back down.
Which do you think is the most difficult? The young guys that are coming into D1 basketball for the first time trying to learn it, or the guys that were trying to unlearn the system from the last couple of years that are trying to learn it for the first time here?
I think the ones that have been here. You know, when it's almost like an older person trying to learn a new language and a young kid trying to learn a new language. You know, if you're 5 and under, you learn it real quick. When you're older like me, it takes forever because it's hard to, you know, change habits. It's easier to form new habits, but when you start trying to change bad habits to new habits, that's tough. So, you know, that's a good question, but I do think, obviously, that it's a lot better when brand new guys come in, this is what they know, and this is what they do. It's hard to go when they think you do it this way, and now you got to try to get them to do it this way. It's a little tough.
Luke 2 for 10 tonight. How important is it for him to get off to a strong
Big time.
start?
Luke's got to shoot. And our system spread the floor. I thought Alex did a real nice job. Got him the ball out there 2 or 3 times. He had wide open looks. And you know what? When you hit 2 or 3 of those, it's funny how games flip now. You know, they're always, even a 20-point game, the way we play is always on edge. So if you can get a little run going, you'd be surprised how fast that game can turn around. So I'm not disheartened as far as thinking it can't get done. No, I think it can. And we're going to go out there again, Penn State, play them, and if we're at our last game, I'll tell you, I'm the kind of coach I am. I think we're going to get it done. So we're going to work at it. We'll go back in practice again, show them the film. I got a great staff. I think we're teaching them as hard as we can teach them. I think the kids know that we are. I think the kids are going to stay together. We're going to play this thing out and see where we go.
Thank you.